This is Dusk for Dust to Dawn Gaming with our deck tick and wrap up for Red Green Ponza. Green Red Ponza, land destruction, whatever you want to call it. This is a land destruction based Blood Moon deck based around the 1-mana accelerators trying to land a turn 2 Blood Moon or Stone Rain or Primal Command or Mulvonic Acid to blow up our opponent's lands, cripple them, play a big bomb, try to kill them. Differs from Scred Red, which is a deck we've played on this channel a few times. Scred Red is trying to be more of a controlling deck. This deck is kind of trying to cripple our opponent and then finish them off before they can recover. Uh, Big things of note, if you're not familiar with this archetype: Utopia Sprawl, Arbor Elf. Arbor Elf taps a forest. If you have Utopia Sprawl or multiple Utopia Sprawls on a forest, then you can potentially get turn 2, you can get 4 mana, you can play Forest, Arbor Elf, next turn, play land, enchant Utopia Sprawl in the forest, tap it, untap it with the Arbor Elf, have 4 mana that way, and then Mulvonic Acid into Inferno Titan on turn 3 isn't unheard of in that scenario. As far as the main deck, we have Primal Command is kind of our 9th and 10th land destruction spell / tutor for creatures. Chandra as Lone's Planeswalker gets you a little bit of card advantage, a little bit of mana acceleration, and can help you dig for stuff if you're looking for things in particular. Thrun, good against control, hard for them to kill outside of sweepers. Stormbreath Dragon is the dragon of choice here. It was key in our win against blue-white control because they couldn't kill it with Path to Exile. Thragtusk is life gain and a 2-for-1 body, because burn and aggro are bad matchups, especially in game 1. Acidic Slime as a tutorable destroy land or destroy target artifact or enchantment can be relevant, destroying lands in addition to things like Ensnaring Bridge and things of that ilk that could possibly stop you from killing your opponent with creatures. Wormcoil Engine, nice tutor target against grindier decks, hard for them to kill, life gain against burn, kind of does it all. When you're playing your game plan, you have a lot of acceleration. You can get this down on turn 3 or 4 in a pretty reasonable fashion. Inferno Titan is the finisher of choice. Comes down, deals 3 damage scattered as you choose. Can help clear the board against things like Elves, Affinity, Burn. All in all, best closer for the game. In terms of if your opponent doesn't answer, this is going to kill them in a turn or 2. Bonfire of the Damned. We miracled it against Shaman deck. It's great against Affinity. Would have been great against the Elf Devoted Druid combo deck that we punted against, or that we struggled against there. Sideboard, relics for graveyard decks, Grixis Shadow, Blue-White Control, Storm, Ancient Grudges, and Fracturing Gusts for Affinity and Lantern Control. Sudden Shock used to be for the Infect matchup in particular, but also does well in a lot of matchups such as Counters Company, the Elf deck we played, Affinity, just anything that a 2-mana creature that needs to die. Anger of the Gods, additional sweepers against go-wide aggro decks, which are a problem for this deck. Kitchen Finks, once again, burns a horrible matchup. A little bit of life gain, a little bit of a relevant body. Trinisphere, this is mainly for decks that are trying to play a bunch of cheap scale spells. Has applications against Grixis Shadow, Storm, a little bit against Ad Nauseam, etc. Trying to choke your opponent on mana, followed by this. Often they can always play one spell or fewer a turn if they're a deck that's trying to get away with a few lands. So overall, we finished 3-2. We admittedly got a little lucky to beat Shaman. We beat Affinity. Sideboard had a lot of hate for Affinity. Blue-White Control got a little bit lucky. Grixis Shadow, frankly, we punted. Had a Chandra ultimate, game 2, had a Bird of Paradise in hand, played the bird the turn before I ultimated the Chandra. Didn't draw a spell. Opponent killed us with a 10/10 Grixis or Death Shadow with Temur Battle Rage with 2 lands in hand, with a Chandra Emblem in play. So we punted. Good chance to go 4-0. And then we ran into Counters Company against an opponent claiming they wanted to be in the competitive leagues. I killed the Archdruid because I'm used to playing against elves. It was the Devoted Druid I should have killed, so what do you do? So moving on, we'll be playing Scred Red and Blue Moon in the coming days. See which deck seems to hold up the best in the current meta. We might play another round of leagues too, kind of like we did with the PPTQ testing, so we get an overall pretty good idea of how the decks play out and recommend which of these Blood Moon decks is best. This is Dusk for Dusted On Gaming. Bye for now.